Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is October the 22nd, 2018. Strong hand, long-term thinking, unconfiscatable. One Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. All right, we're just going to jump right into this show because there's a lot to cover today. There is a tweet out there by the guy that's in charge of Binance. I can't even pronounce his name correctly, but he said, he like me says, nice. Institutional money will enter sooner or later, just a matter of time. So this dude's got a great perspective. I could have just shared that but I say that kind of thing every day. The stuff he added was very interesting. What happens when a fund like Fidelity's allocates a mere 5% of their portfolio to crypto? Have you calculated how much that is? Right. That little 5% is more than doubling, almost triple, the entire crypto market cap. And some people are still worried about ... All right. And, this is a great point. If Fidelity only put 5% of their money into it, it would make such a tremendous difference. But remember, Fidelity is not the only institution that's going to be surging into Bitcoin one of these days. It's a matter of time. So if Fidelity can double the value, the market cap of all of cryptocurrency, imagine with what all the others combined pouring in, buying up all sorts of Bitcoin and creating all sorts of financial products. It's just the tip of the financialization iceberg. So I found that to be very positive and a very interesting way of looking at the Fidelity story in perspective, and all the stories that we hear in perspective of what they can do. It sounds like just one name coming in. Well, there'll be a bunch of these names, and they all carry a huge amount of weight compared to the total market cap of cryptocurrency currently. All right, Peter McCormick has a tweet out there. Bcash is the tokenization of Bitmain. And that is a Samson Mow quote. Now, remember, Samson Mow was on the This Week in Bitcoin show before. You can check out all the This Week in Bitcoin shows at techbalt.com, techbalt.com. That is linked to below. Disruptmeister.com. All of my archives are linked to below. And, of course, follow me on Twitter at techbalt, TECHBALT. But going back to that freaking quote, because you got to pound that freaking like button, people. Bcash is the tokenization of Bitmain. Yeah, that's an interesting way of looking at it. But how about this? I'm not taking it as a positive or a negative, because we already know that it's somewhat. We already know it's centralized. We all know that all altcoins are centralized, and that Bcash more so than compared to Bitcoin, they're all centralized. So we know that Bcash is centralized, and in the end of the day, if people like Bitmain, and there are people ripping on Bitmain, there are people saying good things about Bitmain. If Bcash is the tokenization of Bitmain, if Bitmain successfully pulls out off their IPO, that will be good work. That'll be good for Bcash. That'll be good. All the people will be pouring into Bcash because if Bitmain's good, then the Bitmain token will obviously be good too in the eyes of all the ridiculous altcoin speculators who are looking for the next Bitcoin. We all know that Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. So we really don't need to worry about Bcash is the tokenization of Bitmain. We really don't. We're just sitting back and watching with popcorn. And again, I hope Bcash, if they're having difficulties internally, they should have a fork. They should have a crypto-dividend of Bcash. We've talked about that before. And as I said, the way this market works, if something like Bcash were to split, the total value of the two coins that came out of it would be more than the previous value of Bcash. So you'll have a fake Satoshi coin, and then you'll have a Bitmain token. All right. So as I said, all the old videos are linked to below in disruptmeister.com. And on Friday was a great This Week in Bitcoin with Jeet, Marty Bent, and Federico Tenga. I recommend it highly. Disruptmeister.com now has 1,100 of my videos on it, okay? I've been involved with at least 1,100 crypto-related videos in my day. The latest is this video that I'm doing right now, but Crush the Street just interviewed me, and that is linked to below, and you can also see it at disruptmeister.com. That was a good time. Pound that freaking like button. And I also got to say pound that freaking like button on Crush the Street. If spoiler alert there. I always try to say it, whatever show I'm on. Sometimes got to throw it in there at the last second. So in crypto dividend news, B-Rhodium is live. Yes, I linked to the B-Rhodium press release below. And of course, many moons ago, some of us signed up for the B-Rhodium airdrop if we had Bitcoin, and now it's live. And here's a quote. The B-Rhodium mainnet was launched this weekend. Once 2016 blocks have been mined, which likely will take place roughly in 2 weeks, B-Rhodium will be listed on a major cryptocurrency exchange where it can be traded for and from Bitcoin. Okay, so that last part is that's what I know a lot of you care about, okay? Because you signed up for this, you value your wealth in Bitcoin, you're like, great, I got this B-Rhodium airdrop, let it do whatever it's going to do. I want to be able to exchange it for Bitcoin. Well, they're saying we got about 2 weeks. So let's see. They didn't say what exchange it is, but let's see. It's live. Most of you care about it being live on an exchange. So that's coming also. Andy Hoffman interviewed some of the dudes behind that today. I linked to that below. So check that out. Of course, Andy's on Steemit also. He posted that on Steemit. It's linked to below, people. The video itself is linked to below. Ari David Paul, who like Andy Hoffman and Samson Mao have been on the This Week in Bitcoin show, which you can watch at techvault.com. He's got an interesting tweet out there that, well, I'll read it first. Many Bitcoiners view Bitcoin as very serious world-changing politics and as a more mature project with more to lose that must overcome serious threats and challenges. This naturally produces a harder edge than communities that view their project as more of a tech experiment. Okay, so he's trying to say that, sometimes you encounter some of these Bitcoiners on social media and they are really serious dudes and they can snap, they can have an edge. And the reason is because they know that Bitcoin is changing the world. This is some serious, well, I can't say that word here because it's a family channel, but it's a serious thing. This is earth-changing, life-changing type of stuff for them. And they're serious threats against it because it's at the tip of the spear, okay, in terms of cryptocurrency. Because the government, if you think, and I'm not a person who really thinks this, that governments are going to go viciously out of their way to stop cryptocurrency, well, Bitcoin is the one they're aiming at. Now, again, I think the way that governments will try to stop cryptocurrencies, they're just going to make their own cryptocurrencies. Good for them. Let them make their altcoins. Actually, let them fork off of Bitcoin. Let them make government, let them make government crypto dividends of Bitcoin. And so I'll get their free government. I'll get free Japan coin or something like that. Free Singapore coin. They can do. See, for me, I'm not threatened. I don't have that mentality that some of these, and I can understand why some of these guys take it super duper seriously and they got to be in fighting mode all the time. But for me, I'm very confident. And I do believe Bitcoin is changing the whole freaking world. It's going to be bigger than the internet. And we're going to talk about the story in Kenya on a small scale, how it's already changing someone's life there in a second. But yeah, I do understand. I do see why some of these dudes are a little cranky. Anyway, check out the link below. I keep a very positive spin on anything. I know Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. It is the winner. It will win. And governments can do whatever the heck they want. Anyone can threaten it. It doesn't matter. It gets stronger. Okay, a person from Baltimore actually sent me this BBC article about, and that's interesting. A person I knew from my Baltimore days, from dealing with real estate stuff. The BAAKT. I'm saying all this personal information about me now. Someone I knew from Baltimore just sent me a Bitcoin, because this person has become a little interested in Bitcoin. I give this lady some credit. That's great. And she sent me a story from Kenya, from the BBC, that there is a woman in Kenya who has a restaurant that serves goat meat, delicious goat meat in Kenya. And she accepts Dash and Bitcoin. And I know all the Dash people are happy about that, because they're trying, that's what they want. They want their cryptocurrency being transacted in every freaking country. Well, if you're in some remote location in Kenya, you're doing pretty well. Dash, that's great for you. But in terms of Bitcoin, she was Bitcoin trading, which of course I do not recommend. She got some Bitcoin. It has changed her life. It allowed her to get this restaurant. And she says not many people have used crypto yet at her restaurant, but she's teaching people too. So Bitcoin has made this woman in a very impoverished nation. It has made her elite compared to her neighbors in terms of wealth. She was able to open up her own business because of acquiring Bitcoin. And anyone can, anyone with a computer, with internet access, and there's a lot of places that are in developing nations that aren't in great shape that you can have internet access. If they just slowly start to acquire it, they will be elite compared to their neighbors who are valuing their wealth in the local currency, or just can't save. This woman saved her Bitcoin that she acquired, and she used it to better her life, to open a restaurant. But at the same time, she held some of it, and now she's teaching other people to improve their lives too. So it's a good story, and there's no excuses out there, people. If a lady in a remote area of Kenya can acquire Bitcoin, then yeah, you should be able to do so also. And was a Coinbase story here, and I mentioned this last week, and I'm not even going to get into it. The 0x coin that they list now on the Coinbase trading platform. There's an article that I linked to below by theblockcrypto.com that talks about the ties that bind Coinbase and the 0x people. It seems shady, but this is the type of thing you expect in the wild west of crypto. I mean, if you've got connections with a coin and you've got an exchange, you're probably going to favor that coin. And if you're Coinbase and you're following all the rules and you got the connections, then you're going to be able to pull it off. I mean, there have been accusations of insider trading at Coinbase before. There are going to be those again. Coinbase is a most favored exchange status with the United States government. They follow all the U.S.'s rules, so they can do these little things. And yes, if you're on Coinbase and you buy there and you sell there, they're telling the IRS that's what you signed up for. But hey, you got your Bitcoin. And we're going to talk about the IRS in a second, actually. But beforehand, let's talk about Argentina. Bitcoinization doesn't sound so crazy when applied to countries like Argentina, says Trezor Meister, and this is linked to below. Property transactions in Argentina continue to be cash settled, and probably one of the most terrifying things for a law-abiding citizen to be a part of. Yeah, that is pretty. I wouldn't want to buy a property with a bunch of freaking cash. And that just shows you that it's come to that in Argentina, and that Bitcoin would solve that issue, does solve that issue. If you can't rely on a bank to settle your transaction like we do in the United States, when we go to closing, there's a bank involved or multiple banks involved, whatever, there's money being wired. Argentina, obviously, they can't do that anymore for some reason. I won't get into all the reasons. So Bitcoin solves that. And that's why Bitcoinization doesn't sound so crazy when applied to countries like Argentina, where you can see where the smart people will just be using Bitcoin for every type of transaction, especially the major ones. I mean, full Bitcoinization would be you'd be using Bitcoin for every, to buy stuff at stores and, buy your coffee and all that. But one step at a time. Situations like this in Argentina exist in many other countries too. So take a note, people. Slowly but surely, there are use cases out there, really scary use cases. So the great Jim Piper, this dude, he took someone's idea from the comment section that I said someone should do and make a BitcoinMeister spoof show. And he made a show called the ICO Meister. It's only 4 minutes. I've linked to it below. It is hilarious. He's me, but he's the ICO Meister. His hair is down. He's wearing a suit. There's a fancy set and graphics in the background. He's saying to, spend your crypto. Don't save your Bitcoin. He's saying ICOs are awesome. It is hilarious. You got to check it out. And of course, I've retweeted that on TechBalt, TECHBALT. And remember, I do post a new show here every single freaking day, dude. You get it. Where else are you going to get a new show every day? Original content, not that stuff that the mindless crypto media puts out there that misquotes Vinny Lingham. That was disgraceful yesterday. Wow. Actually, and speaking of Vinny Lingham, he retweeted this by the Cryptogram, and is a quote of his. I would tax crypto transactions at source, e.g., when you buy Bitcoin. Tax the transaction by 5% rather than trying to tax profits, suggesting courtesy of Vinny Lingham. Okay, people. So before you go crazy, let's look at that suggestion. So right now you buy Bitcoin, okay? You buy Bitcoin, and then when you sell it, you're taxed, at least in the United States, I'm talking US here, you're taxed on your profits, okay? You're taxed on your profits according to how much money you make and if it was short-term or long-term capital gains, okay? Yeah, that's a pain. You got to calculate it. You got to keep records. It's a pain. So again, and if you're buying from Coinbase and everything, which most people are, you're going to have to pay your taxes eventually. So I'm talking in a country where you're going to have to pay taxes on it at some point. Now, I don't think you should have to pay taxes on Bitcoin. I don't think that. But I am living in the United States. I bought it from Coinbase. That's what I signed up for. That's personal responsibility as a new counterculture. So but I'm thinking, wouldn't it just be easier if when you buy it for Coinbase, if you spend $100,000 on crypto from Coinbase, right then and there, you pay $5,000 taxes. And that's it. That's it. That's the end. You don't pay taxes on it ever again. If you're going to have to pay taxes, I kind of like that scenario more than the current scenario. Now, then there are people who say, what happened to the day traders that buy it constantly over and over? They'd have to figure out something with that. Okay, this is like a preliminary idea here. And again, you shouldn't be doing that anyway. I mean, there'll be a different tax paradigm for them, I guess, under this scenario. But I find it interesting, and of course, this would also if this system were to start, let's say, in 6 months, then the people who bought it and never sold it, they would get a holiday, I guess. They would never have to pay taxes on it. So yeah, it would benefit me greatly, wouldn't it, as a holder, if that were the scenario too. But again, I'm not just doing this for me. I'm not just saying that. I'm saying it's for future me too. Let's say I want to buy $100,000 more one day. And yeah, then I would rather just pay the taxes right up front than having to worry one day, when it's $1 million to do the whole calculation. Okay, so I made a $900,000 profit. Now I got to pay 20% on $900,000. That's no good. You end up paying more anyway. So interesting suggestion there by Vinny Lingham. I doubt it is implemented in the United States, but perhaps some other country will take that approach because there's a lot of ambiguity out there in a lot of different countries. It's not very well defined. And this gets them, they're short-term thinkers anyway, countries. Why not just get the money right away? Why not just get the tax revenue right away instead of having to hunt down, instead of having to wait longer, and you probably would get more, but you'd also have to hunt the people down. And okay, so Trezor has an announcement again. I hope I linked to this below. Let me read it. Trezor Wallet expands its feature set, exchange directly within the interface. You won't need to look for an exchange anymore. It is in your Trezor wallet. Now, I thought they actually said this a few weeks ago, and I posted something, so I don't know what the difference is now. Basically, you can turn your Litecoin into Bitcoin that you're storing on your Trezor. It can do it for you now, okay? I have no interest in turning my Bitcoin into altcoins, but hey, you can do that on your Trezor now. There's the announcement. I better have linked to that below. If I didn't, I'll add that after the show, so you can explore that further. Just another reason to keep your crypto on your Trezor, I guess. Okay. Vortex has a tweet out there. And I don't agree with 100% of it. I think it's a good tweet, though. Okay, blame it. Okay, some people complain that Bitcoin is not ready for people earning under $2 a day. What these people don't understand is that Bitcoin is here to compete / provide exit from the systems that cause the conditions that result in people earning only $2 a day in the first place. Okay, now I'm not going to agree with that. There's systems causing people to earn only $2 a day. Okay, people, it's personal responsibility. People earning $2 a day, they could leave their countries, they could get into other situations. There's ways out of it. The systems aren't helping people earn much more than $2 a day, but it doesn't doom systems don't doom everyone under them to earn under $2 a day. Okay, but the main point that he's trying to make here is that no, it's to get people out of the old paradigm. Okay, it's to get people it is their way of taking personal responsibility and getting into this Bitcoin overlay, and that's what that woman in Kenya did. She lives in a country where probably plenty of people make under $2 a day, and Bitcoin was her exit from that 80% or way of life in those countries, the way the mainstream does things. So now there's a whole nother system, a whole other overlay, I say, that now exists. So is Bitcoin ready for people earning under $2 a day? Well, if they slowly start to buy it, heck, it will get them out of that paradigm, which is great. So again, some people complain that Bitcoin is not yet ready for people earning under $2 a day. What these people don't understand is that Bitcoin is here to compete, provide an exit from the systems that cause the conditions that result in people earning only $2 a day in the first place. All right. Now, speaking about ways not to opt out of your 80%er system, people are like, buy a Mega Millions ticket. No, don't buy a Mega Millions ticket. That's insane. If you're talking about the Mega Millions jackpot, what you should do is gather up that $10 and buy yourself some Bitcoin, okay? Because this is the thing. You buy $10 worth of Mega Millions tickets, you're going to end up with nothing. You buy $10 worth of Bitcoin, you're going to end up with something. You're ending up with $10 worth of Bitcoin. And then in the long run, what is that going to turn into? And what positive habits is that starting up for you right there? You buy $10 this week, you buy $10. Instead of buying $10 of lottery tickets every week, you start buying $10 worth of Bitcoin every week. You're never going to win that lottery. With Bitcoin, you're going to keep on getting something, and that something in terms of fiat will be worth more in the future. But the main thing is you're starting to value your wealth in Bitcoin and not in frivolous dreams of getting more fiat that you're not going to be able to get, and you're not going to be funding the government machine anymore. Because again, what you get from buying lottery tickets is you are giving away your money to the government. I mean, that is just so, I mean, it's shameful. It's embarrassing. You're just like, yeah, government, I know you say I have a chance of winning a lot of money, so I'm going to give you more of my hard-earned money. No. Instead of playing that fiat game, instead of being involved in the welfare dollar, opt out and opt in to the one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin world. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video. Check out the link section below. I will say hi to everyone in the chat. Bye.